We got a boat. We got a boat. Thanks to Colin.
And we have a hero, Cameron.
And boat shed. Cameron's driving, so it's a boat shed boat. And just over here we got Helsinki. Woo!
Spirit of Helsinki.
Oh yeah, Spirit of Helsinki, and they're right up the front here. They're just coming through now. So very happy to see them and very happy to be here. And we're going to make the boat go on to. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we got about a 2.5 knot current helping these guys down the river, so we're right here. Whoa! Okay, so they got their spinnaker up, full main, not doing too bad. They're probably doing about 6-7 knots, but they got 2 knots of current going with them. So there's Spirit of Helsinki. Well, we've got a bit of a lean on here. We're all on the same side of the boat. Hello! Welcome to Cows! Yeah. Okay. They look like they're getting ready to pop the spinnaker. They've got a guy going out to the end of the pole. So all very cool. All very cool. Yep. So the ex-Phaser Finland did the Whitbread in 1985, and Juicy and a couple of his mates got together and bought this one as a project because it was actually it was entering the OGR, but the original owner decided not to continue, so he bought it partway through a refit, and they completed it all and got it together. It was a last-minute rush, huge financial challenge, all those sorts of usual issues and backstories. But they made it to the start line, and they've been doing really well since. They took, I forget what it was, IRC or line on us. They took line on us into. It was line on us in Cape Town, Ada.
Your line hunters in Cape Town, first leg.
I'm getting
yes,
confused
because
now.
you remember Marie was first one, and suddenly she lacked of wind, and
That's
she
right.
told to the fleet, and
Gotcha.
Spirit of
Yeah, I
Helsinki
remember
came went more south.
Yeah, actually that's a heavy weather kite. That's interesting. They might have popped their big light weather stuff. They've got a guy on the pole ready to pop it, and we'll be listening to the radio
okay,
for
do
the
you
line.
have enough room?
Listening to the line, but they're looking pretty good. Okay, so very powerful boat, and they're looking good for IRC for leg 4, but we don't talk about it too much because it can always change. You know, there's so many variables about that. And for these guys and girls, they'll be very happy. This is the end of their main challenge. Everyone thinks about what's next and so on, but at the moment they'll be focused on this is the finish. Wow. They made it all the way around the world. So many things can go wrong, touch wood, but they've kept it all happening and made it all the way. Want to do some French?
Sorry? Yeah. It's hard to follow them, isn't it? How many knots do you think they are doing? Still 10
well, now
knots?
there's probably about 8 knots with the current, another 2.5 knots, so they're probably showing 10 knots on the tracker.
Yeah, it's
And,
impressive.
they're going pretty cool.
So how many are them on board? 12?
12, yeah.
12.
Yeah,
Alors
12.
bonsoir à tous, French?
Yeah, go.
Bonsoir à tous, bienvenue à Chaos. Alors nous avons, ce qu'on disait avec Don, cette fois-ci on a un bateau, on peut les suivre mais on a du mal à les suivre tellement ils vont vite. Ils sont à 10 nœuds au moins et ils sont aidés aussi par le courant. Donc c'est le bateau Spirit of Helsinki, ancien Phaser of Finland qui a déjà fait la Whitbread. Je ne sais pas si vous nous entendez parce qu'il y a un très gros bruit du moteur. Donc au cas où le son n'était pas bon, je vais peut-être pas parler trop et vous laisser voir, je ne sais pas, et vous laisser regarder. Parce qu'il n'y a rien de pire qu'un son qui ne marche pas, et là il se peut qu'il y ait des interférences du moteur. Même si Don a maintenant des microphones qui font qui peuvent enlever les bruits ambiants, mais bon, je ne sais pas.
It must be right on the line just about. There's a squadron over there. They'll get it on the radio. It's hard for us to see it from this angle.
Don pense que nous sommes tout près de la ligne d'arrivée. Donc Spirit of Helsinki, c'est un projet, je vous le raconterai un peu plus sur le ponton tout à l'heure parce que là il y a trop de bruit. C'est un projet que Jussi Pavlova, le skipper, a commencé en 2019. Il avait envie de reprendre ce bateau et de faire un équipage 100% finlandais. Et donc je vous raconterai l'histoire un peu plus tard quand il y aura un peu moins de bruit. Et nous sommes très contents de les voir. Il y a pas mal d'amis et de familles aussi que nous avons vus.
Yeah. So they're looking pretty cool as per usual. Bottom looks still pretty clean and they're going quite fast, so they'll be very happy. I can't hear the radio at all. I hope they've got their radio on so they can hear Georgie on the count. It's looking as if they're taking the deep end of the line, but they obviously don't want to jibe across, so quite the way off from the squadron. We're on the other end. It's a long finish line, about half a mile long.
Sorry, Don. I'm in the way. No? Yeah, go.
Yep, that's it. Where we go, over the line. They've done it. Yeah, very high emotions there now, so very cool. So that's it for phase Finland, Spirit of Helsinki. They've just completed their circumnavigation, and leg 4 of the Ocean Globe race. Looking extremely good for IRC for leg 4. I think we've got to wait and see how it all pans out, but yeah, they're very happy with that. So now the guy on the end of the pole, he's got to pop the kite. There we go. Well, it's going. Last time they're dropping the spinnaker now. Last time for a while. And they'll be dreaming of clean sheets and hot showers and hamburgers and chips. Or maybe not. Maybe they're thinking of Finnish kippers on rye bread or something. I'm not sure what's the the favourite for them, but all the crew will be very happy to have achieved that. It's just so many things on your brain. You're always living with weather, and you're always thinking what's going to break next, or all these what ifs. And now it's simply a case of pack up and get back to the marina and bask in the delight of having done it. It's quite an achievement to sail around the world. Let alone in a race like the OGR, where you've got all these crazy philosophical rules of having to listen to cassette tape players and use a sextant, paper charts. So yeah, they're looking good. Oh, it's gonna come up to weather. They're gonna come around.
Come around?
Yeah, they're coming around. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're coming up to head up to wind to drop the mainsail. Geez, there's our Auckland sticker there for Tamaki Auckland. So still hanging on the bow. Beautiful boat. They did an amazing refit on it, and it looks very cool. One of the most powerful boats in the fleet. Once it lifts its skirt and gets going, it's very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Yep. Yes.
I think on this leg they have 2 women on board.
Yeah.
I forgot. I think there are 2.
Yep.
Hila did all the way around.
Yes. Yep.
And I couldn't, because of the engine, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay.
So I don't speak English, you don't say the same things. It does.
Talking about the refit and the fact that now they don't have to worry about the weather anymore. They don't have to worry about what's going to break next.
Yeah,
and they don't have to worry
exactly.
about sleeping in that smelly sleeping bag for the next bloody 2 weeks.
Do you remember them arriving in Auckland when you want to do an interview after their arrival next day in morning at 11?
Yeah.
And they could hardly walk.
Yeah, exactly. This is a party boat, but in a different way. Everyone's got a
So
different
I think
style.
they more think about.
Yeah, every boat's got a different style of party, and these guys know all about the word alcohol.
Where to find,
yeah.
and the best bars in town.
Yes. Okay. They've been stacking sails. There's the other big kite. That's They must have got a bit of breeze. It looks like one of their other kites just stacked on the starboard side there. Stacked on the starboard side. And the one they just... Oh no, that's the one they just dropped. Sorry. I'm learning how to sail. Yeah. There's a good breeze there. So now we're going backwards at 2 knots or something with the current. It'll take them a while to drop their sails and get down there. Finland should feel proud. They've still got Tapio out there in Galliana with Secure, but this is quite cool to have 2 Finnish boats in the OGR and get both up to the finish line. Very cool. The carbon fibre boom on there. In fact, yeah, all very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Okay, so they're coming up now to drop the main. We'll wait until they drop the main, then we'll call it and we'll head back to the marina and get ready for their arrival with the French champagne that's been chilled. So I think they're planning to stick around for a couple of days and then head straight back to Finland. Most of the crew, I believe, are going to fly home. There's some others coming across maybe to help sail it back. And then the plan for this boat is to run a whole series of regattas in different parts of the world and invite all sorts of crew to come on board and get involved with those events. Hey!
Whoop, whoop.
Well done, guys and girls. Fantastic. Good to see. This is Jane and Don and Ada and Rob and Tim as well. All your families are waiting on shore. Yep. Yeah, well done. Yeah, absolutely. You got beers from Boat Shed. So... yeah, so if you ever thought about wanting to sail on this boat, you could have the opportunity. You just go to their website, social media. I don't know whether they've announced their schedule of events that they plan to do, but they're planning some big ones, and I think across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, and who knows, they may even think about doing the OGR again in 27. Who knows? Geez, our McIntyre Adventure sticker looks very small on the mainsail here.
Yeah.
It's a big mainsail. Might have to make a bigger one next time. Oh. Yeah. So you can see, imagine doing this in like a squall, you know, a 30-knot squall comes through in the doldrums, you got your full main up, you got to get everyone out there and try and drop this huge mainsail.
Yeah.
Quite challenging. And not try and lose anyone over the side, touch wood. I mean, we can talk about it now that they've finished the race, but another boat that's returned with everyone on board as organiser. We're extremely happy about that and proud of the fact that everyone seems to be managing their safety, their personal safety really well. I mean, obviously the technology's changed and so on, but it all comes down to looking after your crew and keeping an eye on each other and all those sorts of issues. But we only had that one man overboard incident, which was on Penjuik just after the start in Punta, and they got him back on board within about 5 minutes, him or her. We don't know actually who it was. They don't want to talk about it, but that's fine. Happy that so far, so good. In the first Whitbread race, they lost a couple of sailors overboard in the Southern Ocean, and since then, you know, events still have problems, and it's just one of those risks that everyone faces. In fact, yesterday, some of the crews on the Spirit of Helsinki were talking about the same thing. I'm going to swap sides now. That there is always inherent risk with these adventures, and that's one of the attractions. You know, if there wasn't risk, people would probably say, "Oh, let's just go watch TV." Who knows? Then again, you can just like sailing. But as an organiser, we do everything we can to mitigate the risk, and then it's up to the entrants and sailors themselves, and they've done a great job. You know, a great job to get around safely. They've all got stories, you know. We report what's going on in the race, but you can never get the fine stories. And even all these crews, they'll come back and meet their family and friends, and how do you explain what's happened in the last 6 weeks to someone that says, oh, how was it? You know, you can't do it. And they'll keep coming up with stories for the next 6 months. You know, they'll be out doing something and say, oh, did I tell you about this one? Boom, boom, you know, and it just goes on and on and on. And every one of them will have a huge takeaway from being on board the boat in this kind of challenge, where it changes them. It will absolutely change them. They'll have a different perspective on life in general and various subjects. You know, a lot of the trivial things in the system won't mean as much as what they might have before they set off on this sort of journey. And you've got to remember too, you look at all the people on deck, that's been their world for the last, 6 weeks or something, or five weeks, or a bit over 5 weeks. So they haven't been able to get off. They've had to put up with each other, you know. Make sure everyone cleans the toilet when they finish, you know, and has their fair share of food, doesn't hog all the good bits. And, you know, it's
because I remember, Don, I don't remember if you did a tour inside of Spirit of Helsinki because they left.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice, but on the same side, do you remember all these 6 or 7 people sleeping in the back?
Yeah.
In the very, very back next to the wet weather gear.
Yeah.
So it was very uncomfortable conditions for a lot of them, even if it's a very, very beautiful boat.
Yeah, no, all very cool. Okay, so we've probably just about done enough. Do you want to do any more French speaking, Ada?
Yeah, of course. Donc voilà, je vais faire un peu de français. Je me doute qu'il n'y a pas énormément de Français qui regardent l'arrivée de Spirit d'Helsinki au milieu de la nuit. Mais pour ceux d'entre vous qui suivent, c'est le deuxième bateau finlandais dans la course avec Galliana de Tapio Lehtinen. Et ce qu'on disait avec Don tout à l'heure, c'est que bien que ce soit un bateau très beau, très confortable, comme ils sont très nombreux à bord, moi je me rappelle et je vous encourage à regarder sur ma chaîne YouTube la vidéo que j'ai faite de la visite à l'intérieur de ce bateau-là. Ils étaient 6 ou 7 à dormir à l'arrière dans des couchettes qui sont tout sauf des couchettes. C'est vraiment très très inconfortable. Et puis ce que disait Don, et à juste titre, c'est que vous voyez la taille de la grande voile, imaginez-les dans le poteau noir quand le vent change et qu'il faut la baisser tout de suite. Vous avez vu la taille, vous avez vu le poids. Là, c'était assez facile à la baisser parce que la mer ne bouge pas, mais imaginez dans une mer un peu de montée. C'est ce que disait Don, et c'est vrai que lorsqu'on les regarde faire, c'est assez impressionnant.
Okay. All right, we might call this, I think, and head back to the marina and be ready for when they arrive. So I'll put this down here, back on board Jane, and we can sign off. Rob's there. Thank you very much, everybody. Happy to be out here with this boat shed boat. Boat shed boat. And
happy to see them.
Yeah, hang on. All right, so
anyway, see you soon at the pontoon.